Then I'll invite on stage Anneli Lindqvist and Hector Wielechowski from the Copenhagen Youth Council, and Vera, Sofie, Lind-Kürstein and Hugo, Lund, Basbøll, Svendsen from the Copenhagen Climate Ambassadors.
Dear ministers, mayors, politicians, directors, cycling activists, and organizers, thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak on this stage today. And thank you for listening to us. Here in Denmark, cycling is very normalized. We ourselves learned to ride a bike when we were only 3 to 4 years old. In some of the other cities in the world where we have traveled, we did not see cycles like we have here in Copenhagen. But we have learned that the better a starting point for cycling you are used to, the less you think about how lucky you are. Here in Copenhagen, we can take it for granted that we have a good cycling city.
However, even in Copenhagen, one of the top cycling cities in the world, children and youth of today are not cycling enough. According to the Danish Cycling Association, the number of cycling trips among young people in upper secondary school, regardless of age, has decreased by 40% since 2010. If you wish a world with better cycling for children and youth, it is in your hands now.
First and foremost, we call for action to give children and youth the freedom of mobility in their city. This is because, for children and youth, we believe it is necessary to have some independence from adults. This can be accomplished by allowing youth to move freely in their city, where they can socialize, learn, and explore. Not only this, but having the freedom to move sustainably around in your city is a prerequisite to the feeling of safety, both for the young cyclists and also for the mothers, fathers, sisters, and brothers who rely on their family getting home safely every day. If your wish for this forum is that more children and young people choose cycling, then you must prioritize far more concrete cycling solutions, so that cyclists are for once at equity with cars. Therefore, we are calling for everyone having access to bike and safe cycling paths, as everyone should have the opportunity to be sustainably mobile, particularly those of us too young to drive. We also call for a fair distribution of space between cycling paths and cycling paths and car roads, which reflects not the current status quo favoring the cars, but rather the long-term need for sustainable mobility in the cities of our future.
And to ensure the freedom of mobility for children and youth, we call for action to ensure safety and security for children and youth on cycles. We do not wish that the number of cyclists decrease even more. It must be safe for children and youth to cycle everywhere in one's city. And to ensure the safe travel of everyone, we call for space for cycles must be prioritized with wide bike lanes in all roads and everyone must be educated to travel safely and legally on their bikes in traffic.
Woo!
It is also essential for our freedom of mobility that world leaders take responsibility and ensure a free, green future in mobility. It is imperative for children and youth to see action from world leaders on the climate crisis to maintain hope for a sustainable future, both for current and future generations. Therefore, we call for a global collaboration towards a green transition, increase green mobility by, among other things, improving the conditions for cycling and transportation with minimal CO2 emissions. Throughout our lives, we have heard politicians talk about the climate. There is a constant talk about what we ourselves should do. But that is not what will save our planet. The social norms you set up are also the norms you yourself must follow. It is time that we see action from you, decision makers, to change the social norms for more green mobility. The world should see it as a clear opportunity to give children and young people better opportunities to cycle. But we don't have the power. We don't have the right to vote. That is why it's important that you listen to us today. You have the power. Use it responsibly.
Finally, we also call for action to include young people in decision-making regarding their city. Children and youth do not have the right to vote, but are still greatly influenced by decisions made about their city's development and priorities, especially regarding the city's mobility options. Young people need exactly the same as everyone else, the right to be able to move freely. The difference is that where politicians see voices in adults, they seem to see nothing in the opinions of young people. But with cycling, it can be different. Young and old cycle on the same asphalt. If young people are happy, adults are too. We want you to always consult the young people when you make a decision, and always include us young people when hosting an event. We want you to go home and try to create a youth council like the one we have here in Copenhagen, or another space where young people can meet, talk about politics, and get their voices heard. Young people want to contribute to the development of society. We're an untapped resource, but we must be listened to. For if we're not, you'll lose our input. The voice of the future.
In closing, dear ministers, politicians, directors, bike activists, and organizers, we would like to say thank you. Thank you very much for lending us your ears and providing us with this opportunity to contribute to the 2025 UCI Mobility and Bike City Forum. It has been incredibly meaningful for us. Yet, for our words to become meaningful to youth globally, we rely on you, the decision makers of the biking world, to take our calls to action home with you, to discuss them with the youth of your cities, and to take concrete action today for the benefit of us all tomorrow.
Woo.
Thank you.
And now, we'd like to invite Jakob Næsager, our Children and Youth Mayor of Copenhagen, up to the stage.
Velkommen. Skal jeg rydde op her?
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to stand here today and share my insights. First and foremost, I would like to say a special thank you to the Copenhagen Youth Council and Copenhagen Climate Ambassadors for having the courage to stand up here in front of us all and express your opinions. If I had to pick one thing that makes me proud as Mayor of Children and Youth in Copenhagen, it is to see the engagement and enrollment among the young people in our city. Today, you remind us all of having how important safe mobility and enrollment is. With your call of actions posters, you demonstrate not only determination, but also unity, with which I can only admire. With the poster, you express a clear desire to be involved in the decision-making, which is also why I'm very proud of the fact that we in Copenhagen have a youth council, that we can consult and involve. And I hope that every municipality in Denmark use the opportunity to do the same. It is not a secret that when you stroll around Copenhagen, you will notice a lot of people riding bikes, a lot of them being young people that socialize, getting from A to B, enjoying life. Unfortunately, some of them also get hurt from time to time. I believe that it is my duty as a mayor to prevent this from happening as much as I can. This is why I need your help so that we together can establish the best foundation for a bike-friendly and safe city. We also see it is our job to help educate, which is why we want to launch initiatives that make young people more aware of risk and better at cycling. We want to work better across departments to make sure traffic education is mandatory, so all children can explore the city safely. With these initiatives, we want to ensure the well-being of young Copenhageners. Finally, I would once again like to thank you for the call of action poster. It is important that Copenhagen remains the cycling capital of the world in the future, but we can only achieve this goal by educating our school children even more in traffic safety. Thank you for the attention.